Hello, and welcome to the October 2020 Logos and Mythos Book Club Live. I hope you guys have had a great month so far. In case I think that may have started a little after I thought it did, so welcome to the October 2020 Logos and Mythos Book Club Live. You know what's right around the corner are the holidays. And I know some of us probably already have in mind gifts and what we can get those people that we love. And what is better to give someone than a book? So I got to thinking at first I was going to just kind of look back over the books that I've read this year and just kind of highlight a few. But when I was thinking about how close the holidays are, I thought, well, why don't I just pick a few of the books that I've read this year to highlight for gift options? So I figured I'd do it a little different. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So I'm just going to share a few suggestions with you that would actually work well for a wide range of people you might have on your list. And I hope that you will chime in too with some books that you suggest, or if you are looking for a specific suggestion, recommendation, for someone on your list, someone maybe who's a little bit more difficult to buy for, then just put that in the comments and let me see if I can help you out with that. Or maybe one of our other viewers can help you out too. So definitely share away and ask questions as we go. And I'm just going to share a few books that really stood out to me. And like I said, this is mostly from the reading that I've done this year. So the first one, and this is kind of a funny place to start, I'm starting with nonfiction. And actually most of the books that I'm going to mention tonight are more in the nonfiction range. Typically, I land more on the fiction side, but for whatever reason, these were kind of the ones that stood out. So the very first one that I want to suggest for you guys is a book called Extreme Ownership: How Navy SEALs Lead and Win. And it was written by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. And they were Navy SEALs. They served together. And they now own a company together where they go into businesses and they teach leadership seminars. And they really help businesses work with their employees all the way up the chain to just be better leaders. And guys, this book was incredible. Now, I will have to tell you one little caveat that I have not read a ton of leadership books, but this one was pretty phenomenal. Just the way that it was laid out and the information that it gave, I found it to be extremely helpful. I think that this would be a great book for anyone who wants to lead well, whether it be in business, volunteer work, your family, just life in general. I feel like it would be a great book pretty much for anyone on your list. It is told in a very matter-of-fact way. I mean, they're military guys, right? So it's short, to the point, gets the information to you, and each chapter is broken up into 3 sections. The first part of the chapter gives a little story from their time in Iraq, just a little anecdote from the war. Then it gives kind of the point of that chapter, whatever leadership tidbit or whatever you want to call it that they're putting in that chapter. That's kind of in the center part. And then they close out the chapter with an example from the business world of putting that into play. And so you kind of see it from the desert to the boardroom, basically. And you see these suggestions and these tips and these strategies implemented in these different settings. And it's just phenomenal. I recently had a friend who read this book on my recommendation, which is funny because she recommended his books to me first, but I was the first one to read this book, and then she read this book, and I think it's really helped her as well in a new job situation. So definitely highly recommend that one. The next one that I would recommend is called A Hobbit, a Wardrobe, and a Great War. And this book is by Joseph LeConte. Now, this book I had been wanting to read for the longest time, and I'm sorry I don't have the actual books with me on several of these. A lot of these I checked out from my library or borrowed from a friend in the case of this one. This book was just outstanding. I would recommend it for anyone who loves literature, anyone who enjoys military history. So this is World War I. And of course, as the title kind of gives away, we're dealing specifically with J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. And we're seeing how their participation in World War I really affected and drove their writings, really, all of their books. I think that it is just an enlightening and fascinating way to look at these authors and their writings. So also anyone who's interested in religion or philosophy or psychology would also find this book interesting. Definitely, 2 thumbs up on this one. And then I would also recommend, if you're looking for something that is more of like a coffee table book, okay? But a coffee table book that you would actually want to read, it's My Heart Cries Out, and this is by Paul David Tripp, and it combines beautiful photography with scriptures and with poetry. And it is just a beautiful, beautiful book that you would want to sit on your coffee table because it's that pretty, but also you would want to pick up and just flip through and read a little bit here and there. Definitely, definitely love that one as well. And then, sort of along those lines, I would recommend, if you are looking for devotionals, if you just want something small, a little gift to give to someone, then I would recommend these 2 devotionals. And they are both by my dear friend, Michelle Keener, who, I just have to interject this, her book, Mission Hollywood, was just announced as a 2020 Maggie Award winner. So congratulations, Michelle. I'm so excited. Anyway, so her fiction books are also phenomenal. But I'm highlighting for gifts. I'm highlighting the devotionals tonight. So you are 30 names God has given you and what they mean. And I am 30 names God has given himself and what they mean. So they're exactly what the titles tell you. They're literally 30 days of short, simple devotionals that are just jam-packed with so much truth, encouragement, depth from the scriptures. They're outstanding. So I highly recommend these. These would make an excellent gift. So that would be my next recommendation. And then I'm going to hop over here real quick just to see if we've got any comments. No comments yet. So just if you have any questions, if you're looking for suggestions for books to give as gifts this holiday season, or if you have a suggestion for a good book to give as a gift, just drop it in the comments at any point. So I have just a few more on my list that I'm going to go through. And the next couple are more for our younger audiences. Okay, so the first is, and I don't have this one with me because I borrowed it from my library, but The Letter for the King, and this was written by Tonke Dracht. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but you might recognize this title from the Netflix TV show. I will say I was disappointed in the TV show, but I am so, so thankful that I read the book. The book is phenomenal. It is well, it's really not fantasy. It's more of the adventure side of things and a young boy kind of coming of age as he's going on this journey, this quest of sorts. He is a knight in training, and it's so much better than the show. Sorry, but it is. It actually makes sense, and there's like a plot, and it flows so much better. Anyway, if you've seen the show and you liked it, well, I'm sorry. But if you didn't like it, just trust me. Try the book. The book is so much better. And there is a second book that I have not read yet, and it's on my list, and I really cannot wait to read it. So I would highly recommend that for adults and for young adults, and even kids, in fact. I can't remember if I think my son might have read this one, and I think he enjoyed it. So I would recommend it even for your younger readers who enjoy that kind of book. And then this one I have not read, okay? But it comes highly recommended by both of my children, and it's very popular, and it is a gigantic series at this point. This is book number 8 in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series. So this is fantasy. I believe they are elves. I should have asked my kids before I started this. Um, anyway, there's magic going on in here, and like I said, they're up to book 8. Book 8.5 will be out on November 17th. So I have heard rave reviews from every kid who has read these books. So it comes recommended from kids. Um, the let's see, what was I going to say about this? Oh, I would recommend that if you have kids who love to read books over and over, like to the point that they kind of wear them out, I would advise you to invest in the hardcover instead of the paperback. The paperbacks just don't hold up very well. I will say that. We bought the first 7 as paperbacks. The first 5 were in like a set together, and it was a great deal, but you get what you pay for. Of course, we also didn't know just how much both of our kids would love it as much as they did, to the point that they are literally reading them to death. So just a little parent word of warning on that one. So like I said, highly recommended by the kiddos, and I have not read it, so I'm going on the recommendation of the kids. And then finally, I figured that I may as well talk to you a little bit about my 2 fiction books. So if you have read Any Good Thing or This Good Thing, you actually might have a really good suggestion for me on who should read these books, and I would love to hear your thoughts. But just from the feedback that I've gotten from my own experience and stuff, I would say that Any Good Thing, to be perfectly honest, is a great book for any reader or non-reader. I have had in the beta phase of writing, when I had beta readers kind of reading an early draft of it and giving me feedback, I had some early 20s, I had some 30s, 40s, and then I had like 60s. So I kind of had all different ages, both men and women, who were reading this book, and the majority of them really enjoyed it. But it was funny because the younger readers said, I could see my mom really enjoying this book, or specifically saying, I can see someone who kind of came of age during the time of 9/11 really enjoying this book. And then I had some older people who read it say, I think that this would be a great book for older teens. So it was kind of funny that I had that back and forth. I also had some non-readers, some guys who don't typically read, and they really enjoyed this book. So I feel like this is kind of an across the board, older teen all the way up, male, female, who really enjoy this book. So Any Good Thing. And then This Good Thing, I feel like can kind of go that same way. But I'm going to specifically peg this for mothers and daughters. Okay, so this is Carolina's final year on Earth. She is diagnosed with cancer, and you know it going in. Okay, I'm not going to surprise you with this one. That's what this book is, and sprinkled throughout the chapters, there are letters that Carolina writes to her daughter Rachel, and so I've had several moms say that this is an excellent book to share with their daughters. So that's kind of where I'll put my main recommendation for you guys on, and that's This Good Thing. So, and I would say there's, obviously the aspect of grief and loss is in there. So you know your kids best. My daughter was 11, no, she was 12 when she read it. So, she was a little bit on the younger end, but I don't feel like there's anything in there that would be not appropriate for that age. So even as young as that and on up. So those are my recommendations for you guys. I would love to hear what you are looking at. What is on your book wish list? Perhaps that'll be next month's. Maybe November can be, let's share our book wish list, right? Like what's on your list? What would you love to get? And maybe you can tell me too, what are you planning on gifting? If the person that you're planning on gifting it to is on here and might see it. I get that, but you can always drop me a private message or whatever because I'd love to hear about it. And also, if you are looking for suggestions for a specific person, maybe I can help you with that too. So I hope you guys have a fantastic October, and I will see you next month for our November book club live. Bye.